And I hope this works because I haven't used Streamlabs in probably a year now, because we haven't had enough people to fill a chat. So hi, name's
thanks,
Maxwell
Paul.
Star. We're doing BA101, or we're doing a BYOB version of BA101 tonight, which is hometown beers. So by definition, it'll be beer from where you live. What's your current hometown? Or it could be where'd you grow up? What's a popular beer over at the place you came from? Let's start off tonight with introducing the panel members. And I think Lady Lee was actually the first person to join.
I came first.
Yeah, you came first.
Then you left and came back.
Gotta let the ladies come first, right? So, and then snuggle after.
Wow.
Jesus.
Clean up afterwards.
Wow. The towel.
I'm doing good. I chose Gateway as my beer, and I chose a Laurentian Red Lager. So this one they just came out with recently. This is one of their newer beers.
That's their newest beer currently.
Yeah, exactly. This is new. Yay.
Nice. Awesome. All
That's
right,
exciting.
Lee. So, to avoid confusion, I know this is probably not in the order that everybody joined, but I'm going to go from left to right, other than Lady Lee, because I know she came first. Let's go over to Greg.
Yeah,
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
Not too bad, Greg. What's going on? And how are you tonight?
I'm having this delicious beer from my hometown of Quebec. It's Perroquet IPA.
Nice.
But
your actual hometown.
From my other hometown, Toronto. So originally I thought we were doing the whole the pub beer or whatever. So I bought a bunch of different beers that are sort of regularly available in Toronto. I mean, other than the obvious Molson Canadian and Coors Light. But then when you said, oh, it has to be from your hometown, it's like, okay, well, Toronto's my hometown. It's a lot of different beers. I was okay, which is also what pub beer is very popular from my hometown. And if you're going into sort of, well, this one's not technically a craft anymore, but if you're sort of going to a crafty beer that isn't a big, Molson Canadian, something like that, this is something that's available in most bars that even want to dip their toe into craft. And it is also made in the hometown of Toronto, even though I don't believe Toronto owned anymore. It is a simple, but sometimes okay, Mill Street Organic.
Ooh.
Are you kidding me right now?
Wow. Isn't that made in Ottawa?
No, Mill Street's totally. Oh my God, Greg! What the hell?
Made in Ottawa.
Toronto.
You didn't say it had to. The rules weren't it had to be good hometown beer. It just had to be a hometown beer.
That's Greg. That's so well played, man. That's hilarious, dude.
Of all the beers out of Toronto.
Oh, that's too funny.
It's gonna be that or a Creemore. Well, I want to do Creemore Lager. I forgot. Shit, that's made in Creemore. That's not made in Toronto. And I bought a Juicy Ass. I'm like, well, that's fucking made in Barrie. So it's like no, can't do any of those.
Well done. Jesus Christ.
There we go.
Alrighty. Wow. Cheers, Greg. Let's move on next down the list here, and we've got somebody who hasn't been with us for a while. We have Paul of PA Brew News. Goddamn, I love having you on here, Paul. What's new? How you doing?
Much. Well, I'm in my hometown right now. I'm not even in my home Commonwealth right now. I'm actually up in Michigan. Nice. I had a beer that was local to me that is kind of becoming a growing thing in Pennsylvania, which is New Trails triple IPA called Fifth Orbit. Now, technically, Berwick is my hometown, and I just could not get a chance because I was out of the area to grab a Berwick beer. I lost the New Trail in kind of, a reciprocal trade, and I got some Pliny the Elder instead, so ting, 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 I'll take that. But the beer that I have right now, which is a Pennsylvania beer, so I have to represent PA. I'm P-fucking-A Brew News, man. I have a Clarion River beer right now, and this is their Golden Eagle Pilsner coming in at 4.8%, which is basically non-alcoholic.
Nice.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Let's move on down the line to the Beard. Redbeard, how you doing tonight?
Horseshit. I was here second. God damn it. I'm doing well. How are you doing, Nick?
I'm not doing too bad. Yes.
May have encountered a certain other person from North Bay at a certain brewery here in North Bay, and little talk. So different beer. Also from Gateway City here in North Bay, I've got their Slingshot New England IPA, which is the, I believe, second most new release that they've put out, coming in at 6% ABV. And there's a skiing frog type creature on the can because Gateway does things like that.
That way I eat.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Beard. Let's go over to
Yeah.
Mr. Lee of High Tide Imbibe. How you doing tonight there, Lee?
Well, Nick, I'm dying to have a beer tonight.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Ha!
I
Ha!
got a terminal case of thirst.
Yes.
Oh,
Imagine if that was him actually announcing, like, just the most stupid random way to tell everyone.
I was actually debating it all day if I was gonna sort of drag it on a little bit as a joke, but then I figured, I'll just.
Nice.
Yeah, this is probably the last BA101 I'm going to be on for a while. Not because I'm going to die, just because I'm cutting out the beer for a couple months. But yeah, so I'm here. I'm doing well, Nick. I'm not dying. So
We're doing a month of cooler reviews. Come on back.
Is it because of the shenanigans on Saturday night?
no.
I'm
Although that is being canceled because of the shenanigans on Saturday night for a while. But that's a different story.
I don't even know what happened. Did I do something?
No, you didn't
technically
do
we're
anything.
all dying. I'm just gonna
So
go
we're
back to
dying
that.
of laughter.
okay.
All right. Well, this is a story we'll have to talk about later.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
years.
So anyway, the beer I picked, and I had to stretch this a little bit, but I mean, since our friend Guy always says I'm from Halifax, apparently I live in Halifax, and I mean technically I was born in Halifax, so and Nova Scotia's so fucking small anyway that Halifax practically is my hometown. It doesn't really matter. It's it's this little
Well,
hillbilly
you're not far from
province.
Halifax.
I'm not far from Halifax anyway. So I picked a newer beer to me, but it's one that's been around for a little while now, out of Halifax, out of the Stillwater Brewing Company, or Stillwell Brewing Company. Sorry. This is
Stillwater's like St. Crow.
Stilly Pils, German style Pilsner, at 5% alcohol by volume. So it is technically still non-alcoholic, like Paul was saying his was. But I mean, every once in a while, you want to have a non-alcoholic Pilsner. So yeah.
Do you though?
Shut the fuck up,
Yes.
Redbeard.
All right. All
There we
right.
go.
Thank you, Lee. Let's go over. Oh, since we already did Lee, let's go to Dan. Dan, the man with
Good
the
evening.
big, been
Damn,
banana.
the man with big banana.
Big goatee. There we
Big
go.
goatee, sure.
Good evening. So, yeah, you told me hometown. I went, okay, now we're talking, because now I can get stuff. Unfortunately, I didn't get my package in from the brewery I was expecting, which was Category 12. I was going to bring a heavy beer that Greg probably would have enjoyed and probably would have voted me. However, it didn't stop me from finding a Victoria beer. So tonight, I am going to be going to some Hoyne and having a little dark matter tonight.
Hoyne Dark Matter.
From which brewery?
Hoyne Brewing out of Victoria, BC.
Hoyne.
What style is that?
If I, that's the thing is I don't exactly know the proper style of it. Dark ale is what I imagine
Dark
it
ale?
is.
Okay.
Coming in at 5.3%. So
It doesn't say what it is on the can.
It just says
it just says
Beer.
dark matter, and it just says beer. That's all it says.
You're on the internet.
That's
all it is.
weird, man.
Maybe it actually is
So-
dark matter.
So do you even know if it's an ale or not? Because if it usually just says beer on the can, that usually means it's a lager.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's filtered water, a blend of British and Canadian malted barley, British Columbia hops, and yeast.
Okay. I
So,
mean,
Is it a stout or is it?
no,
like
it's not a stout. It's more of an ale because the color is dark, malt is heavy, and the hops are light. So it is
You just described like 5 styles.
exactly.
the
Exactly.
Untapped page
So-
for it. The Untapped page for it literally says dark matter, deep, deceptively dark. Is it a stout? Is it a brown? Is it a porter? classifies it as a
Oh,
dark ale, so
no.
we'll just run with that. It's dark
Yep.
something.
Yeah.
What
Yep.
the hell?
So basically, it's a stout and an ale, so it's a stale.
Well,
sure.
yeah, it might be. I mean, it was packaged December 22, so we'll
So
see.
yeah, it's stale.
I was right.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
right.
Dump.
However,
drain,
I
pour.
also no way, you don't drain pour dark matter. However,
Wash it down with those
I
quantities that
I
Paul
was
has.
also thinking that maybe if I really wanted to, I was going to go Oh My Quad from Brewster's as well. Now, this is out of Calgary. This is also a 10% ale with Belgian sugar yeast, and it's really good. One of my friends helped brew it with Brewsters, and this is their 3rd year doing it. They got their 4th year in the tank right now, getting ready. So yeah, we might be doing a double episode of beer tonight.
Nice.
Double beer.
He was
Double 15
anticipating. He was anticipating a possible drain pour. It's like if the first one goes real bad.
I got this extra one.
But at the same point in time, I've had dark matter before, but that I'll get into later.
Okay.
I can't believe you let your friend name that beer "Oh My Quad" without punching him in the face. Just saying.
If you knew Dave the beer guy, you'd know that he's very punny. So
Yeah, it's a great pun.
Punhole.
Is he just Nick in disguise? It's like, Nick, are you a secret brewmaster?
In Calgary?
Could be.
Yeah.
No.
that explains why he
I'm
doesn't
not
want
the
to come to visit.
brewmaster. This is.
Oh, Jesus. Does it still work? It still works.
Anyway, needs to be updated. Okay, so thank you, Dan. Let's go over to another person we have with us, Radar. Ray Dahar.
Already down to me. Holy shit.
Hey,
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good. I'm off tomorrow.
Nice. So, beer.
Yay.
Anyways, I took a Ottawa beer since I live in Ottawa now. Well, since 1990. From Ashton Brewing Company. It's only like the second time I've heard of them. And I haven't had anything from them, so I decided to try something I haven't tried instead of like bringing, one of my usuals like Dominion City, Sunsplit, or anything from Velocipede, Bicycle Brewery.
Human
So I
centipede.
took this. The ones that do the Velocipede and the Velociraptor beers, Bicycle Brewery. Anyways, this is Ashton Brewing Company, Amber Ale, and I'm usually not too fond of Amberale, so Amber Ale. So we'll see. We'll see. And other than that, nothing else. Oh, and for another thing, hi Pabru News, Paul. I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see another metalhead here.
All right. Okay.
What? I'm not here all the time. What the hell was that? Dan?
Well, the kind of metal you listen to, Redbeard, is
Wrong.
closer to pop.
You just listen to Celine Dion and think it's metal.
I don't think you've listened to all the metal I've listened to.
Well, if you listen to what I listen to, you'll be like, oh.
I will give you. I don't generally listen to
Anybody?
stuff
All
as
Norwegian
metal
black
as
metal.
Paul.
You two need to start a podcast with Chris Peters and figure out what the real metal is.
Oh,
Yeah.
New metal. Like
There we
new,
go.
like
Let's just
Slipknot.
fucking deny people that. Hey,
Lee, are you sure you weren't being serious about dying?
I mean, I think
Asshole.
Sabaton is like.
Well,
metal.
he is saying
I
he's going to
think
disappear
Sabaton
for.
is not even metal.
Lee
I
is
would
saying.
listen to that podcast personally.
Sabaton's good, but anyway,
Yeah,
let's, no
it's
more metal.
metal.
Stop. No metal.
Yeah.
No metal talk.
Anyway.
Beer.
All right, let's
Let's
move
just-
on.
Rattle.
Introduce myself because I'm going to talk about my beer finally. Going to do a beer that I don't
Finally.
know exactly when this came out, but it's been around for. It came out during COVID. It's been around for a couple of years now, but I've taken a really big friggin' love to this beer lately, and it is a beer technically from my hometown, and I'll go into the details on that when we do histories of these beers. But this is Wasted Day IPA, technically made by Long Bay Brewing, which is in Rothsay, but it's like right next to Gore, Quispam, between my hometown and my hometown. So we have a pile of comments here. Does anybody want to volunteer to read them?
Oh, I'll do it.
Okay.
Read
All right, so we're going to start with Maxwell Star, waiting on a couple of people. It's
Oh
Wednesday.
yeah, Lee's internet crapped a bit.
Jesus Christ.
So, good evening, Jamie. Is that our Jamie? Like Jamie Zinger?
That's a different Jamie. That's the other
Oh,
Jamie.
Oh, okay. Well, hello
That's
there,
the Jamie
Jamie.
we've been cheating on with
And
Jamie
then,
because the other Jamie's not here.
I
Oh, yeah.
like Jamie
this
threesome personally.
And this is Western Canadian Review, aka Dan Jamier. And then Jamie says, "Cheers, Western Canadian Reviewer. Nothing wrong with taking a break." Sam Smalley, good day, all. Sam says also, "Jimmy C, brother." Hello there, Sam. Then Western Canadian Dan says, "Howdy, Sam." Jamie's back with Sam Smalley, brother. Hope you're doing okay. And Sam Smalley says, "Hopefully right for the weekend, bro there. It's been a rough week."
Wow, seems like there's something going on in the chat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything's okay.
In both chats. Jesus
I'm going to
Christ.
assume it's a sex thing.
Jesus.
I always
All right.
assume it's a sex
Handcuffs.
thing.
Just like you said, like hopefully everybody's doing okay. All right,
Giving
so
each other open.
let's circle back and let's go to Laylee and see what's her history with the beer she brought.
So, my history with New Ontario Gateway is
What
that.
did you just do? Oh,
What?
You want to know why? It's because when I name the beers in my head or at work, I have New Ontario and then I have Gateway.
well, you
So
still
New
have
Ontario
that
is the
bad.
first one that I
You
say.
still have the bad keg of Tree Topper on tap? Because it was not good when I had it.
I assume so.
Most
It's not a very-
inconsistent brewery in the world. Woo! Sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
So I've been in North Bay since 2009, which means it's been the place that I have lived the longest because I think I'm going to be on like 16 years this year.
Wow, it's like almost your
So-
life.
Yeah, well, the longest place before that was 14, and that was my hometown. So Gateway is a local brewery that has beers at the restaurant I work at. So that is it. I've served their beers many times. I've tried their beers many times. I've been to their brewery many times. Like I don't really know how to explain for history because they make a good pilsner. They make a good IPA. They have a bunch of different stuff. I do like them. I think they have consistently good beer because like Carrie was saying, unfortunately the other brewery has some consistency issues. Because there is
And
definitely
their new location that they just moved into, their brewing area is even more like away and sealed off from the public and potential contaminants and stuff. It's pretty cool.
yeah, it's a really cool brewery. I also really appreciate the fact that they always make a Pride beer where they donate the funds to Pride, like local Pride. So that's really cool too. So that's kind of why I'm supporting them because they tend to
Nice.
support the community a lot. So
And they're vegan. Woo!
Yay.
I don't know.
Well, they got to check it. They got a check for them and a check against them.
They'll never make a beer for Dan, unfortunately.
I will say one thing. You did bring me
no
some,
lactose.
Lee did bring me some Gateway City beers there one time, and I remember they had a rice lager that was like it was impressively clean. Like I actually really liked that one. There were a couple other good ones too. Anyway,
yeah, I brought a bunch over.
yeah. All right, let's go to Greg. Hi, Greg.
Oh, hello, Nicholas. How are you?
That was awesome.
As I'm enjoying my delicious Quebec brew, perhaps I can pop open this organic lager. And according to Untapped, I've had this beer 4 times in my life. I think I may have had it more than that. Definitely had it on the night of 500 brews. So this is a beer.
We analyzed that one, didn't we? As well, I think.
Oh, I'm sure we've done
we
this
did
at
it,
least
yeah.
once, probably
Yeah.
twice.
So you've seen you know the 4 times in your life where you were at your lowest when you had that 4 times thing. That's good.
Oh no! I mean, this may not be a beer to write home about, but there's much worse beer out there than this. This is, well, I haven't even tried this one yet, but we'll see. Usually, I find this one to be kind of a non-offensive meh beer. But anyway, this is sort of a beer that I used to drink. First of all, I mean, I think Mill Street in general was probably better, 10 years ago, 12 years ago when I started drinking craft beer. I think their stuff was, more
Oh.
actually crafty. So I mean, this is one of those beers that I sort of used to enjoy drinking when I was kind of transitioning into craft beer, but I was kind of still dipping my toes. So it was like this, along with stuff like Rickard's White, was like crafty enough to, to excite me. And then this for a while was the go-to for my wife. She kind of switches around between her go-tos. Right now, she really likes Stonewall Light from Cool Brewing. I don't really like that beer very much, but to each their own. And this at one point was her go-to beer. I think she stopped drinking it because she was like, "There's other beer out there that tastes as good as this. That's cheaper," and she's right. So, and that's why I think she goes with the current one, because my wife is cheap when it comes to beer. And that's my history with it. I've only drank it 4 times ever in my entire life. Ever.
Ever.
We believe you.
Ever.
Forever, ever, forever.
Forever and ever, amen. Speaking of amen, Paul, your turn.
Hi.
Hi, Paul.
Well, I got this Clarion River Golden Eagle Pilsner. I've been to Clarion River Brewing Company about 3 times now. They're from Clarion, Pennsylvania. As I said, my hometown is Berwick, Pennsylvania. They made a brewing company 2 or 3 years after I left, so that wasn't a brewing company when I lived there. Berwick Brewing Company and Anomaly Brewing Company are both in Berwick right now. But I have this, and we're just going to see how it is. It's the first time I've ever had their Pilsner. I had their ESB twice now that were pretty good. So looking forward to this. And I had their Hazy IPA recently. So we'll see.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Paul. Let's go over to Beard.
I have had this beer a few times. 3 pints may have been enjoyed after work today when I went and bought this. And I want to say 2 weeks ago, I went to check out, like I said, they just moved, like just down the street basically from where they were, but they were in a place renting a space.
Like an industrial.
Nice. It was nice, but the main issue for me was most of the parking lot was just unpaved, rutted, terrifying, gravelly garbage. And now they bought a building that has been for rent for like 3 years now, and no one wanted it. So they're like, we'll buy that. And they've still got some work to do, but it's got some serious potential. And yeah, when I went there, I had some of these. So this is probably, I've probably had at least 10 of these beers at this point. And yeah, Gateway, like I give you the gist of it right there. Like, this is a New England IPA. Like they've got some issues with the haziness aspect, but the consistency, decent beer. They're not super adventurous, which I kind of wish they were, making more random stuff, but they're good. They make good stuff. They know what they're doing. That's all I've got to say about it.
All right. Okay, let's move on to the next person that we have on our list. I believe is Lee.
Oh, hey.
Hi.
So Stillwell, they're kind of all over the place in Halifax now. I don't know the exact date when they started. I couldn't really find that. It's sometime in like the early 2010s, I think, is kind of when they kind of came to prominence. And they started out, I guess, as Bar Stillwell. So they were like, a bar with like 12 or so rotating taps, and they had all the like craft stuff kind of in the Maritimes, like going through it on a rotation all the time, new stuff coming up. And then they got into brewing themselves. They were doing contract brewing through Propeller. From what I can see, they were big on like farmhouse ales and stuff like that for quite a while. They were doing a lot of that kind of stuff. They finally got their own place, their own brick and mortar to brew in. And now they got I think 3 or so base beers that they kind of do. They have the Stilly Pills, they have a Best Bitter, they have a Kolsch, and something else that I didn't check to see what it was. I assume it's like a fucking IPA or something like that, because of course, right? But yeah, they have a regular a publican house. They have a bar in that. They have a restaurant with a bar, I guess. and then they have like a beer garden, if I'm not mistaken. Like they have several locations going on that they kind of run. So apparently they're doing pretty well for themselves. And yeah, that's kind of my history with them. Like this is the first of their beers to show up in the NSLC that I could get. So ever since I started checking it out, I've been really liking this beer. So that's why I brought it in tonight.
Nice. Yeah, I've had an opportunity to try that one too, and I think I actually recommended that to you, didn't I?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, yeah, that thing was pretty freaking great. All right, so let's move on. Thank you, Lee. Let's go to Dan.
Howdy. Again.
Hey, Dan.
Hi. So
Hey, Dan.
my
Hey, boy.
history with well, hi there.
Hello. Hi.
Oh, Dan's here. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Greg. Anyways.
Oh, I wet myself.
That's because you just don't get up to go to the bathroom quick enough. You're old.
Well, I am.
Anyway.
Greg's having trouble getting to the washroom now.
Well, maybe
Well,
by
that
choice,
depends.
well, I do need Depends.
Anyway.
Depends what kind of Depends you get.
He keeps
Yeah.
tripping over that 48 pack of Amsterdam beers he bought.
That's in my fridge, Nick. I'm tripping over my fridge. Thank you very much.
Put your fridge in a better place, man. What's wrong with you?
Bone Shaker does do some damage
I
when
like
you
it
trip
on the
over
doorway. Oh, Bone Shaker does a lot of damage in general.
So yeah, my history with this beer, a lot. I've had this. Let's see, back in 2015. So it's been quite a few times. Whenever I go home, I always pick up at least a can or two of this and have it while I'm back at home enjoying the sunshine, the rain, the moisture, whatever else that's out there. And yes, Greg, that could work both ways. Anyways,
indeed.
We're doing the beer show, Justin.
Yeah. But overall, I've had
Maybe
a
here's
few
a beer. Jeez.
I've had a few beers from this brewery. I've had their espresso stout. I've had their IPA. I haven't had any of their seasonal stuff because it doesn't come out this way. But I've had a few of the other things that they've got, and they've got quite a big lineup. I didn't realize how much they've actually had. But yeah, it's one of those breweries that's been around for quite some time, and one of those staple ones. This and one from Cranog that I usually try and get whenever I'm back home. So yeah, lots of history with this beer.
That's pretty cool. All right.
So
Look forward to hearing more on that. All right. Let's move over to Ray Dahar, or Impregnatron.
Again, like I said, I think it was only the first or second time I've heard of this brewing company, Ashton Brewing Company. So yeah, no history with this at all. So
I'm assuming he's going to hold that pose until
So no, absolutely no history at all. This is the shortest one I've ever done. So
All right, there you go.
next.
All right, my turn. Let's talk about my history with Wasted Day. So, the importance of Wasted Day. Now, Wasted Day is a IPA brewed by Long Bay, which is kind of like Quispam, Rosse, like right on the border. Love going there. I stop in there every once in a while to see what, because they have a beer fridge where they carry beers from all over the province, including another beer I've got sitting here, which is good robot food from Tide and Boar. I think it's Tide and Boar. Yeah, which this is pretty fucking good too.
Is that the same brewery that made dinosaur food?
Yes, they made dinosaur food. Which was,
they have one called Robot Food?
They have robot food and they have dinosaur food. I think they had another food one too, but
Weird.
This is like their newest one. So
Does the concept of robot food stretch credibility with you, Redbeard? Is that the problem? You're
No,
like,
it's
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Dinosaurs ate, but robots. Fuck that. They don't eat.
Wow.
They eat power, I guess. They
we're
eat
being
electricity.
fair, he was weirded out by the
but
robots.
it
He was weirded out by dinosaur
more
food.
Food beers. Dinosaur Food, I thought was a great name for a beer. I just thought that's so random and weird. I loved it.
I just
Robot
saw you
Food is
starting to
good
get
too.
incredulous. I was like,
No, I'm
Carrie's
good. No, I'm
Carrie's
good.
gonna go on another one of his monkey shines. He's gonna get
It
All right,
must
incredulous.
be, it must be
So
German
before-
robots because they're
Monkey
hungry for
shot.
power.
All right, so before we go on any kind of rants, let me finish what I was explaining about my Wasted Day IPA. So, I mean, they've got a decent IPA of their own called Ruckus, but this one here is kind of like, this is like their true blue, dank New England style IPA. But not only did they come out and brew this beer, they also Wasted Day, which you can see there's no Long Bay branding whatsoever on this here because they opened up a brew pub uptown St. John called Wasted Day Brewing. So technically they have a Wasted Day. It serves Long Bay products, but it's called Wasted Day Brewing, and they have this as their flagship beer. But it's really brewed by Long Bay here in Quistransis Rosse.
You say they came out and brewed that beer. Are they supporting Pride?
Came out. I got what you're saying.
I would assume they are. I haven't
I
heard
don't
any
know.
otherwise. So anyway, so yeah, like this right here. How many beers have like this came out last summer? So I looked on Untapped, and it was listed on Untapped in like June of last year. So let's say in 11 months of beer, obviously the Untapped says I only had it once at the brewery, but the number of times that I've actually had this beer, I must have drank a dozen or more of these cans. This beer for me has unseated Hujon Hops is my number one IPA to drink if I just want a hazy IPA, because this thing's pretty fucking good, and I don't have to go. I can go to Wasted Day. I'll go into Long Bay or something to see what's new from like Tide and Boar or any the other breweries in the province that are usually stocked in their fridge, and I'll buy like a 4-pack of Wasted Day IPAs to go with it, and then I'll drink those in a weekend. So, and it's like this is the kind. I'll get into more details about the taste of this beer, but like if you're looking for a New England style IPA of a certain type, this is pretty freaking good. So we have a shit ton of comments here, and I'm gonna assume that Radar is okay with reading more.
Sure.
All right.
Let's see here. I left off at the Howdy Paul Bro. Oh no, sorry.
It's a rough
Hopefully
week, I
right
think.
for the weekend, brother. It's been a rough week. Yes. Howdy Paul Bro. Sam says, "Didn't see you there, legend." And then Jamie says, "Sam fell down a flight of stairs, all tanked up at a beer festival."
Oh, wow.
And then Sam says, "I wish I was drunk at the time." Jamie says, "I'm screwing with you, pal. This thing." Sam says, "Yeah, I know, dude." Sam said, "I have some decent Canadian stuff in Melbourne." Oh, he's from Australia?
I guess.
Yeah, you gotta say
So they
everything
got
with an accent.
fair
when
one.
you
They
read
got
it.
collective arts.
Check
here there.
the
Nice.
list of names though. That's a who's who of good, some
LTM.
good Canadian shit right there.
Yeah, and
Who's LTM?
Le Trois Mousquetaires.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Everybody else like Fairweather,
I've had that.
Awesome, Collective
I'm a-
Arts.
I'm almost
Yeah.
assuming you probably have had something from Le Trois Mousquetaires, but I love their fucking good brewery.
If
Yeah?
you can,
Okay.
I don't know if anyone
I
has
didn't
a
know
hookup
they
so
sold
they
that
can send me
all
some of
with
that, it's awesome. They
What's-
make such good
what was that,
goddamn
Paul?
beer. The Three
He said if
Musketeers.
somebody can get
they
it,
make
yeah,
so
he wants some.
good beer.
Oh,
They're
like
so
the.
good.
Did you ever have the Petit Déjeuner, the breakfast Imperial Stout?
No, but it sounds
Isn't
fucking
it?
amazing.
It was
The only
fucking
two beers that I've had
phenomenal.
from them that I found in
Like-
America was an Imperial Porter and a Double Bock, and both were amazing.
Yeah, like the one I had was the Petit Déjeuner. I think it was like maple Imperial Stout, bourbon barrel aged with coffee. It was.
You're saying all the right words.
Oh, it was so good. One of the best Imperial Stouts I've ever had.
They nail everything. Everything I've had, they just absolutely fucking nail.
Yeah.
Okay. So then Sam says, ... I see Pliny sitting on the bench there, Paul brother.
And I imagine
And
Paul's
then,
typing that later.
Jamie says,
Yeah,
that-
that's what Paul quote unquote traded the beer he was supposed to have. But I've never had Pliny, but I feel like that's a fair trade because it's
Yeah,
it's kind of run
I
out
would have
that
traded. I don't care what beer show I'm mopping on. I would have traded any beer for a Pliny, no problem.
You would have traded your fucking foot for a Pliny.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, the funny
I
thing is,
my
I just
foot up
read it
your
right
ass.
here because I was
I mean,
curious.
you can probably do that for a lot worse.
Russian River Brewing Company is in Santa Rosa and now Windsor, Canada as well.
What?
Ooh, that's where Ryan's
Windsor.
from.
What?
Windsor, Ontario. Windsor.
No,
Calgary,
Canada's so small, though.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can only read what is put down.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, go after their copy editor,
Paul.
Gary. Jesus.
Windsor,
will.
California.
Give me his address.
Windsor, California. Windsor, CA
Yeah,
is
here-
California.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh shit!
You had,
Then fair
had,
enough.
me,
Oh,
had
yeah.
my hopes up and everything. I'm
We
like,
are.
fuck.
It was Windsor, Canada.
I'm like, why aren't we going to visit you? Or even
I
though we
didn't-
suck.
That's
I didn't know
hilarious.
Windsor was-
Paul
I didn't know
sees
California
CA.
had a Windsor. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. DA,
I'm
when
not
I hear
surprised at
CA,
all.
I never
it
think
did
California.
feel a little. It did feel super random that Russian River would suddenly show up in Windsor, Ontario.
I was really positive. I was actually really hopeful for you guys, but never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's Canada. We can't win. It's fine.
It's not true.
Oh, man.
You know what? Fuck that. We have
I'm a
got
female.
some
I've been
super.
more
I mean,
into
you'll
that.
never win the Heisman Trophy, but other than that, no.
Like again, that list. Third Moon is here. Fairweather. I haven't had them in a while, but I went there with Nick, and they made some great beers.
They made some good shit.
Collective Arts is they're good, but they haven't made anything blow my mind in a while. And
Yeah.
due to CL, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of a lot of their stuff. They're really into the more Belgian yeasty stuff that I'm still not there on.
Also, you really hate French people, so that's another.
Racist.
Jesus.
Well, yeah,
Oh, everyone hates French people.
a certain one of them stole stuff from me and was a dick face and fucking man, like he ruined the entire race for me.
You did that to you?
Yeah,
I'm
totally. It was
sorry.
good, yeah.
When you looked at the beer nomicron, sorry, Red Deer, but your face melted.
Okay, and somehow it's still here.
Oh, you're talking about somebody else. All right, never mind. All right, so continuing. PA putting out some great stuff. Had a great time at the Breaker Brewing.
Oh, it's great. Brewing. Yep.
James C says Co. And then I think I've had LTM in Montreal. Don't they have a tap room? Maybe.
Most likely.
Sam Smiley says my favorite brewery here just did a collab with Collective Arts.
Cool.
And then Jamie C says tap room there. Yeah. Sam says, yeah, every year in Melbourne we have an annual good beer week, and one of the bars does all this white Canadian stuff. It's incredible.
Nice.
You sound just like him.
1 out of 10. How's my?
Did you have anything from Trailway?
Oh, I'm still yet to try the almighty Pliny. Another Canadian, another Canadian one I've had lately is and enjoyed.
It was Town.
Town Brewery.
Town's in
Town
Ontario
Brewery.
somewhere, I think.
Town makes.
Have you ever heard the expression international incident? We might have one if you keep that up, but keep it up anyway.
Hey,
Keep what?
I've been
What?
playing Australians online.
I wonder if anything from Trailway makes
Wait,
it down there. like-
what is Paul even talking about right now?
I'm
Keep
not
it up.
talking to you, Redbeard.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Redbeard. I apologize.
No,
No,
radar.
no, Oh,
Sometimes
that's
we get
Town
those
Brewery. I have had a few of their beers. They are pretty good shit. I can't remember exactly where they're located.
In the town.
Town really doesn't help you. Remember where they're
Helps
from.
you about as much as Windsor, CA did.
Yay! I fucked that up.
Had my hopes
I'm
up
sorry,
there,
but
Paul.
Windsor,
I'm like,
CA. I didn't know there was a Windsor
I
in
would've thought
Canada.
the same.
That's California.
I thought
It
they
should
was
have
Brewers in
Windsor,
Canada.
Canada.
read. To be honest, just to like, there is like Windsor. If it should have said Windsor, CA, USA. Like,
Yeah, that would have been great.
Well,
Yeah,
that
I
was
would've
so
known.
confusing because it does say Windsor, CA. But I mean,
But
like,
I mean,
if Windsor was in
that shouldn't
Ontario,
confuse anyone who lives in the U.S. because they're so U.S. centrally minded anyway. It's
Well,
like,
they
oh
would've
yeah,
been
Windsor,
Mine goes
California.
to.
like it's rare for them to be able to name the provinces, let alone like specific not capital cities in Or like, oh, if there isn't some kind of sports team that that would only be Toronto and then the NHL cities as well. Like if you're thinking like cities that would Americans would know because of
I wouldn't have
sports.
thought about it if I literally wasn't like an hour and a half away from Windsor, Canada right now. So
Well,
sorry.
you live,
really
travel,
close to
you've been here enough times.
My only question
again,
now
like,
is where in the
you're one of the
world
less-
is Carmen San Diego?
You're one of
Jesus.
the less, I don't know, just overall less stupid people that live in your country, kind of thing.
I'm pretty stupid, so just calm down with that.
Well, that doesn't say good
Okay,
things for anybody else.
Let's get ridiculous. Jeez.
This is like the town
Alright.
idiot calling the guy who got kicked out of the mental hospital stupid. So let's not.
Holy fuck.
I was gonna say, like, if Russian River was actually in
Uncalled
Windsor, Canada, why aren't we driving in the car right now? But
Yeah,
it had my hopes up, man. Anyway,
Yeah.
I would love to see more of their shit. Like, I had Pliny the Elder like 10 years ago, and I still remember it.
So
What?
I lucked into this, so I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
I can get Russian River too. So
I had that, and
that's cool.
I had Supplication that a buddy of mine had brought back from California. That was the only other one I had from Russian River, I think.
Is that pretty good?
If I recall correctly, it was really good. It was like a I think wine barrel beer, wasn't it?
Oh, cool.
I'm trying to remember beers I had 10 years ago, so I'm like,
There's a TV mounted on this wall, Lee, especially, and it's got two red lights on the bottom of it. And looking out the window, all I see is the two red eyes, and it reminds me from that scene from the original Amityville Horror
Oh yeah.
with the
Yeah.
pig eye.
Mm-hmm.
Just thought I'd mention it.
Nice.
Sorry. Keep going.
You have permission to
you're
continue.
trying to say you're
Where's
cultured,
Oates?
Paul.
Are we still reviewing
not-
beers today?
Stop it.
All right,
Oh,
yeah, maybe
Jamie's
we need
theme.
to.
I get
Your-
Jamie C props on his correction. That good.
All right. So let's circle back and start talking about our thoughts on our beers.
Mine's
Yeah.
gone.
Good, you can still talk.
Do
about
you
it.
remember it at all?
Yeah, I can talk about it.
It's gone. I forget. Go, Lady Lee.
Beer. Oh, we're starting. Okay. Beer. I'm drinking this one to remind you guys, because it's been a while. Gateway Laurentian Red Lager.
Oh,
And
thank you.
that's just, honestly, it's just for Greg, because I know he totally gapped out everyone's beer.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Greg doesn't
So
remember shit.
this one I find this one has a very nice okay, so the first thing I noticed about this beer, it has a really nice mouth feel. Like it's really smooth when it goes down. So that's like the first thing that caught my attention, because when I had it, it wasn't even the taste. It was just like, oh my god, this goes down smooth. Like fuck the taste. Like this feels nice in my mouth. So,
Someone clip that, please.
Oh
Someone clip
Jesus!
that.
Somebody quote that.
Oh yes.
I'm gonna clip
But
that.
yeah.
What am I talking about? I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, the replay's gonna be locked. It'll be fine.
it's perfect. I'm right middle too. Better. Yeah, so it's
Oh, it is the whole Brady Bunch thing right now too.
The
it's
Bukkake bun.
Bukkake bunch.
it's a really good I can talk
God
about
damn
Steven
it.
if you guys want. I'll make you guys feel real comfortable.
I
Let's
wasn't
just go in
saying
that
it.
conversation.
All right. All right. Sorry.
Fuck here, let's go straight to Steven. Why
Holy
not?
whiskey dregs.
Scene.
Sorry. All right. Let's get.
So, depending on what guy you get, what his diet's like. Anyways, back
Jesus
to my beer.
Christ.
Well played.
I
That
started it.
was well
I'm
played.
really interested now. I want to hear more about this.
God damn it.
So,
All right. Beer.
Gateway Laurentian Red Lager. Thank you. We're back on that.
All right.
Again, super amazing mouthfeel. And then when it comes to taste, with I find with red beers or anything red, like it tends to have like a stronger taste. This one I find it's a little bit more muted, but not in a bad way. Because I find that when you taste it, it has a very nice, like nothing overpowering. It's just a smooth flavor. Like I said, with the smooth mouthfeel, it just goes down really nice. It's a really good beer. I do enjoy this. You get that really nice malty taste. You get that really nice like caramel-esque taste. So yeah, I think this is a really nice drinking beer. And it does. It has that like caramel malty taste or smell to it too as well. So like what you smell is what you taste. overall, I enjoy this. I think I'm just gonna go 8s across the board. So for personal preference and style, I'm just gonna go 8s across the board. Really good drinking, really smooth drinking. I find even with because me beer and aftertaste is one thing, and I find this one is not that bad. It's still there, but not nearly as bad as what I've had. So I am quite enjoying this, and it goes down smooth. And
Smooth.
I know we mentioned before. I wanted to say a big thing about both breweries in North Bay. They're very much involved with a lot of charities and local events and everything like that. So I think they're both really cool. Just so, because I know we're mentioning New Ontario and saying they have questionable quality, but the brewery, I do still support
They're
them very
great
much
people, but god damn it.
it's just unfortunate it's a wrong thing, but they support so many of the fucking causes that I'm still gonna buy their beer because they're great. Gateway does the same thing. They support a lot of good causes. They support the community. So I'm gonna support both as much as I can because I think they're both wonderful breweries. They're both great places. So just want to put that out there before anyone was like, fuck the other place. No, both places are great. Go check out both. Quality might not be the same every time you go to one.
It's great. Just go get their beer.
No, the beer's great this time. It's it's a roll of the dice. You never know what you're gonna get. You're either gonna get this delicious fucking beer or this terrible tasting thing. Either way, but the owners, the people who work there, I think are great. It's just unfortunate that they haven't got the quality down.
It's not like they moved into a giant new location where they've got the ability to make sure shit. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I haven't been there recently though, so I don't know if it's improved.
Again, I'm just judging the keg they sent to your restaurant, and no. To be honest, somebody you guys should call them and complain about that keg because that is not the way that beer is supposed to taste at all. It's supposed to be a hoppy. It's supposed to be tasty. It's supposed to be a hoppy red ale. That tastes like a wrong ale.
Wrong ale.
Glad you really brought your beer reviewing skills into that one.
Hey man, I took all the fucking knowledge I've got.
Brought your beer reviewing skills on Lady Lee's segment, where we could always have gotten to your segment later.
Yeah, who are you at Dar's beer reviews now? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I know this was me just bringing it up because I didn't want any negative thoughts on the other brewery. It's just, like I said, I wish that they had consistency, not quality, consistency. I wish
you didn't feel like playing an RPG tonight. You didn't feel like living your life on a D20 and taking a roll and seeing if you made a saving throw. You know.
Honestly, no. For me, it's just
dexterity.
So it's where I am. And in my case, because I'm an anxious driver, I only go to certain locations, and I fucking hate where the brewery is for New Ontario right now. So that's why I didn't go. Because by the time I was free, it was when everyone let out for work, and that intersection, that area, I fucking hate it. It just stresses me out. This was just smoother because all it was lights for the left turn. I didn't have to worry about anything. It was easy in, easy out.
I don't understand how. But the only thing that stresses me out is how stupid long it takes for shit to change when you're sitting there. The sensors aren't working right at all in that intersection. It's so
if I have to do change lanes or switch turn where it's busier, I get really anxious. So I literally just take the brewery that was the easiest one to drive to, and that was easy.
You could have just gone down Fisher and then just taken a straight right through on Seymour. You just drive straight.
He's giving him better. Yes, she did. She's giving Lady Lee. Redbeard's giving Lady Lee better directions to get to New Ontario when nobody wants to go there. I don't
like that area. I don't like that area. I don't like driving that area. I don't like it. Nope.
You picked a better brewery.
I went to Dr. Pizza in that exact same area for a couple slices.
I fucking hate that intersection. I
fucking
hate it.
All right. Thank you, Lady Lee. Let's move over to Greg. Greg can talk for a bit. Hi, Greg.
Yes.
How do you like your beer?
I'm also married to an anxious driver, and when you understand, you understand.
Exactly.
So I don't know. All I remember is Lady making everything sexual. So I'm going to make this one less sexual. So I am currently shaking my bone.
There you go.
Oh, that's a delicious beer. All I've been thinking about was what is Manly's diet like. But anyways, let's get on to this beer at hand. I don't have much of this left. This beer is mostly warm at this point, and unlike some people in this chat, all beer should start out cold and then gradually warm up, and some beers benefit from it, some beers don't. This
I
beer
agree.
definitely
I agree with that.
Paul does not.
This beer, well, yes, I'm making a point that
I
Paul's
figure it
extremely
depends on
wrong
the
about it.
style.
But even a stout, imperial stout, should start out cold. Let it warm up. If it's not good cold, then let it warm up a little bit. See how it changes, because at the very least, you get to experience the differences. For instance, this beer started out meh, and now tastes like salty. Not even salty, just regular piss.
Huh.
So it's been a while. It's been a little while since I've had this. Probably last time we anal this is the last time I had this, because I don't really see myself buying it.
When was the last time you had regular piss?
Oh, I don't know. I probably.
I sent you a bottle of mine.
Oh.
Well, that wasn't regular. That was special piss, though. So that's I'd have to think about regular piss. I don't know.
Is she your therapist?
Nick, that was
a good one. I like
that was
one.
well
Good
played,
one.
but
I like that.
also bad. Really bad. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
come on, Greg.
Yeah, Nick, don't start interrupting my segment, you monster.
Okay, Greg.
Anyways,
How you like that beer?
it's a lot more macro than I remember it from the last time I had it. So I've always thought this beer is kind of meh. It doesn't have a lot of taste to it. It's not really offensive either. It's just kind of water with just a little bit
Do
of beer.
you want me to
taste.
give you directions to how to get to another brewery in Toronto that you could have had different beer from?
Actually, yeah, where maybe do you know how to get Steam Whistle? Because it's probably a better version.
I don't know how to get to Amsterdam so you can get some more double Tempest.
How the hell did you not have something by Grace tonight? What's wrong with you?
Because originally I started out buying beers with the mindset that it was a pub beer or something, and now this is a pub beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, you forgot. Greg failed today. Greg failed a little bit tonight.
Well, now
I
we
do.
have a new future BYOB, so hold on to one
Well,
of
we
those.
were planning to do pub beers, but then we decided
I mean,
to.
I'm also drinking this from Amsterdam, so I'm double. Here, you know what?
Oh, Kubi!
Kubi.
He's gonna
Let's
have the
see
organ shaker.
Let's see if this enhances it.
But is it really a cuvee with a chalet sauce?
Sadly, I don't have any cuvées. Oh, you know what? That's much better. Actually, it's like this tastes like 90% bone
Wait,
shaker now.
wait.
This is great.
Wait, Greg, before you cut yourself off, you were gonna say you don't have any cuvee sauce.
You had no gravy.
I don't.
I said chalet sauce, and you went, I have no cuvee, and yourself off.
Probably.
That's what it is. That's the cuvee sauce.
You know that was a Freudian slip, right? It's
Freudian
like he does this on his spare time.
You know that
Wow.
Freudian slip has been disproved, right?
No, I like to save all my chalet sauce specifically to when Lady Lee's around, just because I know I can get the maximum gag reflex out of her.
You know how much she loves it.
Anyways, this cuvee is delicious. So anyway, this is a lot more macro than I remembered. It's got a lot more of that corn syrup taste. I probably don't think there's corn syrup in it, but to me it has that potato chip taste that I don't like. Not potato chip, like corn chip taste.
Isn't Mill Street like full on bought out and stuff now? That probably is.
By Labatt. I don't know.
It probably is corn syrup. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not gonna say it's not.
But it's organic corn syrup, so it's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's corn syrup organic. Ingredients, if they're being truthful, they have water, organic malted barley, organic hops, and yeast. So if there's corn syrup in it, they're not claiming
Here's a trick. They don't use, a lot of places don't use corn syrup anymore. They use the thing called inverted sugar.
Ooh.
That's a tip.
There we go. Just a tip.
Just a tip.
How do you invert sugar?
I don't want to talk about it.
Turn it upside
Yeah,
down.
we don't need scientists.
You
Paul.
literally do this shit.
No,
Oh
just,
my God.
Nick, that was just turned upside down was a
All right.
good reply. That
Okay.
was funny.
Okay, so Greg, what was your thoughts on? What was your rating on this thing?
What is my rating on this? So I think typically in the past I've sort of averaged like a 6.5, maybe even being generous to a 7 with Milster Organic. This one's not going to be that good. still by far. I mean, it's not nowhere near the worst macro-ish tasting lager I've ever tasted. It is when it's cold, when you're the way you're supposed to be drinking it, I give it a 5.5. That's what I'm giving it.
All right.
I have to give it style too. I forget if I'm giving it style.
So 5.5 for overall.
This is my first show. 5.5 is my overall. If I were to give it style as a craft lager, it probably would be like a 2.
Like
Alright.
5.5
So
or
garbage.
5 out of 5.
5.5 out of 10.
There you go.
I give it a minimal pass because when it's cold as it should be, it's still decent. As it warms up, you really do start to see its flaws.
All right.
Pause.
Thank you, Greg. Let's roll over to Paul, and you can tell us about this Clarion River Golden Eagle non-alcoholic beer he's drinking.
All right. Well, okay. Here it again, so you can see it.
Yep.
Clarion River. This is the Golden Eagle Pilsner, 4.9 alcohol by volume. Clarion River Brewing Company, Clarion, Pennsylvania. It was a nice little beer overall. It was a little bit of a lemon zest, a little bit of earthy floral tonality, just mixed in with a nice little kind of a hint of a breadiness. It was a little bit thin. It was exactly what I would consider probably a little bit below solid because it wasn't. It didn't have that body where it should have, even for a pilsner. It was kind of like that medium size of a low body where it kind of wateried out, if you know what I mean. So that oiliness wasn't there. Overall, it was pretty good. I have no problem giving it a 7 out of 10. And that's
Nice.
it. Fuck off.
All right. And that's 7 out of 10 is your overall. Did you want to give it a rating and a style? Don't have to. We don't really care.
7.
7? All right. And by the way, Paul, love your tasting notes. You're pretty fucking good at it. All right. Okay, so let's move over to Redbeard, who can finally talk.
Yay!
You can always go to somebody else.
Let's let Lady Lee talk on his segment.
Yes, do it.
Yeah.
Give him directions to New Ontario.
Tell us about semen taste.
Oh,
Yes,
Yes.
I can hear a little bit about that.
Yes, who has the best tasting semen in the room?
All right. Seriously, Red. Let's go with the beer.
All right, this theory of mind, Imperial Stout barrel aged from Trestle Brewing out of Perry Sound, is pretty good.
That's
Switch?
not
Yeah.
the original beer.
I have 2 hometowns, so
I
yeah.
have 3 hometowns.
Why didn't you review that one the first place?
Because
Which one did you-
honestly, I
which one
cracked
did you
open this
get
and then
that from?
remember this was in the fridge. So yeah, this is it's just
So we're doing this one.
I
now.
get
That's
somebody apparently stole
Is he cheating and doing this?
1.4% ABV out of this beer, 10.5 with 10.5 for a barrel aged stout. What's even
Oh,
wrong?
that's like almost non-alcoholic.
But
Jesus.
it is really good. Like just chocolate kind of coffee flavors, got a good bitterness level going on. It's yummy. And then the thing I started with,
Okay.
it's style wise I'm going 7 because just like get your cloudiness get your cloudiness together. Enjoyment 8.5. It's got a really nice, tasty, juicy, smooth. It's very smooth, drinkable. Yeah. Surprise 2 beers. Woo.
There you go.
Surprise 2 beers. Is that a surprise? I feel like this panel's been long enough that many of us are on our beer too. So
Yeah, I'm on beer too, but thankfully I have 2 of them. So, all right, thank you, Carrie. Let's move over to Mr. Lee.
Oh hey.
Hi, hey, girl.
hey, girl,
What's up?
hey.
What's up, girl? So Stilly Pills is fucking awesome. They do say here, brewed with German malt and hops, so they're not just like substituting some bullshit to like try to get an approximation of a German Pilsner. If people aren't aware, German Pilsners tend to be a bit drier than a Czech Pilsner. They tend to be less spicy and more herbal, and less like baked bread, more like hay, grainy kind of thing. So
Hey,
this,
grainy.
yeah. So sure.
God.
Yeah. So, whatever. Um, but yeah, this hits all the notes. Like spoilers, this is my new favorite pilsner in the Maritimes. I fucking love it. It hits all the style points as far as I'm concerned. Um, it I'm just hoping like at some point Garrison brings back their Italian style pilsner, which is amazing, but they haven't brought it back in like a couple years, so I'm like kind of sad about that. But I have Stilly Pils now, and that gets 10s across the board because I fucking love it. I love the pilsner style, and when someone like really knocks it out of the park, I love it. It has a little bit of a body to it. Doesn't have a super big body to it or anything like that. But I mean, pilsners aren't supposed to, but they should have like some sort of heft, you know.
Yeah.
And this has a little bit of that. So you know, it's not just like something you chug down. It's something you sit and back and appreciate because it has enough flavor going on as well. They, like I said, they hit all the marks. 10s across the board. Love it.
Yeah, I'd
Nice.
still chug it down, but that's just me. But
Yeah.
I do have 3 actual German Pilsners I've never had before that I'm extremely looking forward to. I don't know about you guys, but as this craft beer style moves forward and forward and forward, and it's getting more bastardized and more ruined by, you know, hipsters, the more traditional I get going, and the more traditional I get focused on again. So I got 3 German Pilsners that I'm psyched about.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's been me for the last few years now. Every time I see you do Pilsner, I'm like, ooh, new piece of
Yeah.
candy.
Yeah.
I got a
No, I
big-
agree. I agree with that.
Piece of candy.
I agree with that. Like especially with this one here, like I gotta admit, Stillwell cracked that one out of the park. They made a pretty fucking good when it comes to Pilsner, I do want, especially that kind of style, I do want something closer to either Czech or German style Pilsners. Like something that tastes like it came from the motherland.
What the hell's a Czech or German?
Czech or German.
then
It's like two different types of
I-
Pilsners.
Yeah,
I
I feel like German ones are drier.
No, I
Yeah,
was
Czechs are-
saying the word checker as a word.
Oh,
Checker.
shut the fuck up.
Shut up. All right. All right.
Nick, if you
Love
want
it, Carrie.
authentic Pilsner,
I
you should
almost
try
died.
Steam Whistle.
when they really get that kind of grassiness mixed with almost a saltine cracker vibe, and have that little bit of earthy spiciness wrapped around it, it's pretty goddamn fantastic.
Steam Whistle needs to get their shit together and realize that most whistles these days are offered by they need to make electric whistle.
I remember like when Steam Whistle first came out, it was pretty fucking great. But I mean, it's not what it was.
Whistle.
Anyway,
It's
we're
pretty
talking about
solid.
Steam Whistle in front of Lee here, so
Yeah, that's just because you people in Toronto never drank a good Pilsner in your life. That's all.
I've had the far inferior Pilsner Raquel.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
whoa.
see.
oh
the
god,
thing is, like,
Pickering's
there's
Imperial
some-
Pilsner.
Oh God, no! Fuck off with that shit. But there's so many like just craft breweries now. It's like embracing like let's do a really good Pilsner. Let's like really knock it out of the fucking park. So there's been so many that have popped up in like Nova Scotia alone, and then there's people doing now. I just had one. It was Tuscan Falls here in Nova Scotia. They did a Helles Lager. But it was basically just Pilsner Junior. It had like all the sort of basically same flavor notes, just like slightly dumbed down. So it was like, yeah, like if more people doing this shit. Like let's turn fucking this place into Germany, you know, without the world wars and the Nazism, of course. But you know, let's
No camps.
no camps.
Jesus Christ. All right. Cool. All right. Thanks, Lee. I'm actually kind of curious of the Tuscan Falls one. Which one was that one again?
Yeah. Geez, what was the name of it? Tuscan Falls. Oh, Slow by Nature.
Okay.
Helles Lager. Yeah.
Okay.
Slow by nature.
It's a beer named after me. All right. Okay, so thanks, Lee. Let's move over to Dan, if he's still awake. Hi, Dan.
Oh, hi. Hi. Yeah. Good morning. Okay. So, Dark Matter. Is it a stout?
Dirt matter.
Is it an ale? Is it a pilsner? Is it no? It's actually a dark ale. Light maltiness, a little sweet, light body. It actually is not quite a brown ale, not quite a stout, not quite a porter. It is something completely different, which is why I like it so much. It is one of those ones where basically you can down about 6 of these, stand up, still feel good, go to the bathroom, come back, down another 3, and feel like Greg afterwards.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's actually a really good beer. I've had it on tap, I've had it in a bottle, I've had it in a can, and it is one that is a great summer beer for me that I really enjoy. And for the style that it is, that they don't claim what it is, but people have guessed, it's an 8. Gotcha, it's a 9. Let's be honest here, it's a 9. Because the mystery behind it is perfect. The mystery behind the actual style of it is perfect because it doesn't claim to be anything, but it's also everything all at once. And as well, for my enjoyability, I always enjoy this. It is always a go-to whenever I see it. I always pick up at least a couple. And I always have at least one a year, 2 a year, 3, maybe a keg a year if I really, really want it. But for my enjoyability, it's a 9 as well. I really do like this beer, and it is a solid beer. And I can't wait to go back and get some ones fresh from the brewery.
Nice. Yeah, especially if you're talking giving it 9s and it was like 6 months old or some shit, isn't it?
The thing is, it's got there's not enough hops in there to have anything fall off, so the flavor profile remains. This is good for at least a year with the same flavor profile. So
Yes.
it actually is quite nice. So
Some of those characteristics, though, it's funny. Not enough hops to make it fall off. So is it a porter?
it does have a little bit of a coffee back note, so it could be. But it also has a sweetness. But it also has a sweetness.
It's so confusing. We don't know what's going on. Is there toasted oats? Is this? So it's not a stout, but is it this?
But it also has a sweetness of a brown ale too.
Oh, well, we'll just throw brown ale in there too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Have a
also
good
throw a
time.
red
Throw
ale
all
in there
that
too,
shit
to
in.
say a little bit of bitterness too.
It's okay. Let's just be
All right.
completely honest. It's a fucking pilsner.
beer.
Let's go.
It's a dark pilsner.
Or not, but it's all involved.
It's a fucking good beer, is what it is. Okay.
It's a bear.
All right.
I
Hey.
took lefts at an intersection. It's a good bear.
Alrighty, so let's move over to. Thanks, Dan. By the way, thank you, Dan. Let's go over to Radar, who's
Drunk.
either he looks like he's probably got like high on crack or something. So
Jesus, wow.
He looks like
That's
the angel from God Told Me To.
Well, God did tell him to.
Anyways, one thing to say before I continue. Paul, please do not bash me of my illiteracy when it comes to beer. I'm not that smart when it comes to beer. Don't do what you did to Dan to me, please. Anyways.
I
Wow.
feel like the dumbest person when it comes to beer.
Yeah, I know.
I like when Paul comes at me. It's fun.
Wait,
So-
did you just like backhand both Dan and Lady Lee? Like, don't bash me like you bash fucking Dan and his fucking rampant stupidity when it comes to beer. And oh yeah, Lady Lee, I know she's dumb.
But
Jesus.
I'm saying I'm the dumbest. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
when it comes to-
I'm
when
gonna
it
pull
comes
Did you say
Sounds like-
stupidity?
Yeah, I did. Shut the fuck up, Richard.
to stupidity. Anyways, when it comes to God damn it.
Alright, go ahead.
When it comes to amber ales, I'm not really well versed, but I've had quite a few, and only recently I'm starting to feel like to actually taste the caramel. Yeah, caramel.
Yeah, a bit of burnt caramel. Yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah,
there's
and
not.
I think that's what made me hate it. I don't like amber ales because of that. If it tastes too much like caramel, I don't like it. This one, you can taste it, however, it's not pronounced, and it goes down extremely smooth. That's all I know much about amber ales. But yeah, it goes down like water, and it actually tastes very good.
How can you not like the caramel flavor?
I'm not a caramel fan.
Wow.
Thing is,
I'm
like,
not
the
a-
king has a
I'm
good
not-
I
flavor.
think the more caramel it tastes, for me, I think it tastes more. It tastes a little bit like cardboard.
Yeah.
Well,
That's your preference.
Major
That's my
Yeah.
new age palate. Anyways,
I love me some caramel.
yeah.
I'm gonna go
Well,
with
And
this.
that's why I open IPAs more often because of the taste and variety of juices they can put in there,
I
whatever.
love caramel.
But for an amber ale, I am going to say this is probably my favorite one so far. I
Nice.
think
Awesome.
I gave one of the ones. I think I gave a 7.5.
Oh, anybody else watching Nick blows those right now? It's great.
But anyways, I'm giving. So yeah, it goes down very smooth.
Oh, I was
and
paying attention to radar.
But I saw you make
Trying
your
to.
and everything. It's awesome. You suck at
so-
soup.
All right.
I actually recommend this. It's actually pretty good.
So what'd you give for a rating there?
Radar, I completely understand what you're talking about. Like for me, an amber ale has to be slightly dry with a nice burnt caramel vibe, a little bit of a brown bread, earthy floral tonality. Like that's my kind of
Yeah.
amber ale.
That's actually a good whatchamacallit, analogy of that. And actually,
No, Paul's got the skills to pay the bills when it comes to when it comes to like actually like just describing Tate. Paul's good at that shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I like it, and yeah, I think it's my favorite ale. Well, so far, amber ale, amber ale, and 8.2 overall. Style 8.
8 and 8.2.
Yeah, 8.2
Nice.
for overall, 8 for stealing.
Nice.
Maybe styling.
All right.
Stealing. Well, it's a white, so steal.
That's awesome there, radar. Okay, so
Gee,
sounds like a very good amber ale. So, all right.
How do you say amber ale again? Radar.
Is it
Amber
amber?
areolio,
Areolas.
Amberale Orioles. Amberale Orioles. Amberale Little Mermaid.
All right, little mer Ariel. Okay, so
I don't know. I think the little,
Amberale Orioles Ariel Little Mermaid.
okay, so my turn to get talked over. But Wasted Day IPA. Hi, Greg. Is of course now he's going to take a piss. Now it's my turn, and I'm getting echo from his headset. Thank you, Radar.
What?
Okay, well, I'll hear what you have to say about your beer first. But
Okay. All right, fine. All right, so Wasted Day IPA. What do I think of this one here? Flavors are like light passion fruit and apricot, a little bit floral, a little bit of like a lemon rind. It's got that pithy kind of like zesty pithy, like you would get from like the little rind of a lemon. It's got this faint oniony vegetable hop burn. Which yeah, it's like if you like beers that hop burn, this is gonna check those boxes for you. It's got a smooth, creamy mouthfeel. What?
It's a little bit fresh.
Yeah, it's definitely fresh. I mean, I'm getting these things straight from the brewery, but even if they're in the fridge for a few weeks or months, they still hold up. They still got a little bit of hop burn to it, and it's because this thing is so heavily hopped. I mean, look how turbid that is. They're not lying. This is definitely got that New England hazy kind of style to it, and this is like a class act.
juice.
Yeah, this is a class act when it comes to New England style hazy kind of IPAs. Like if you the one that I think that this run reminds me the most of is at the Albino Rhino Beer Fest, the last one we did in 2019. I think Joe, I forget who his friend was that gave him some beers from Old Nation. No, Old Nation, M80, M43, and Boss Tweed. They had like a nice vegetable onion hop burn to it, but it was really well made in the same regard. This kind of like harkens back to this. This is like Canadian, like New Brunswick, my hometown version of making a beer that's on that level. And to me, like this is kind of like replaced Trailways Huge on Hops as my regular go-to because I can get this locally in quantities, and if I want that kind of hazy IPA, I can get that vegetal like hop burn with all of those fruity flavors right out of the can. And it all depends. Like you have, it's. I mean, it's a certain specific type of IPA that you would want to have, in the sense that, like, do you like the hop burn? I mean, are you just going for like the fruity, juicy flavors? If that, like, you might be a little put off by the vegetable part of this thing, but like if you want something a little bit more nuanced, then this is actually really in that department, like comes off really super fucking fresh. If you like that, then this is fucking great.
Do you get a little bit of onion garlic in the background too?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like so much. A little bit of garlic, but I mean, I wouldn't say so much garlic, but more like a white onion kind of thing going on. Like a little tingle.
Nice.
Yeah, like that tingling kind of oniony kind of flavor on the back of the palate.
So you're saying this is like in New England that's not for those hipster wusses who just like juice?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, no, this is coming off like in comparison to not this one from Tidenboar, but Dinosaur Food, with straight up juice flavor, which I liked. It was like straight up like pear and melon, but it was all juice. This here is definitely got some vegetal qualities to it.
Before.
What?
Ostweed's pretty good.
Yeah, I've had Boss Tweed. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. The Old Nation. That one was pretty fucking good, and this one really reminds me of this. Well, do you have it? Is that fresh?
Yeah, it's fresh. I just got it.
Nice. That's a good beer. Hope you like it.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah, because I mean, I was literally trying to harken back to my review of Boss Tweed when I was thinking of this. How do I want to describe this? It's definitely got that vegetal quality to it. Anyway, style wise, I'm gonna give it a 9.5 for a New England style IPA. This is fucking good, and overall enjoyment 8.5. So that's my thoughts on Wasted Day IPA. And Radar's got to go piss, doesn't he?
Just did.
Oh, you just did. Okay, so you're back in time to read some comments.
No, but as soon as he said apricot, that was it. No, I'm joking.
That's a light passion fruit, apricot, floral, lemon, rind, pith, zesty pith.
Yeah, I heard that.
Onion, vegetal.
I just pissed outside my door, which is like right there, and I can hear it.
On the floor? What the fuck?
No, outside my door. It's just like this little bush.
Okay.
Instead of waking up everybody over there.
All right. Are you going to read some comments?
Yeah.
Or you want me to?
No.
All right.
All right, where were we?
Yeah, good luck.
I'm still yet trying to land brewery, North America. Yeah. North Americans trying to do an Aussie accent, and then Sam says, "I've certainly heard a lot worse, Jimmy, ha ha." And they're trying to say you're cultured, Paul, ha ha. And then you're, oh yeah, because he missed it. Anyways, Sam says, "Later, peeps, great show. We'll have to check you out more often. Cheers." And then Dan says, "Have a good one,
cheers.
Sam." And Jamie C says, "Later, Sam. Just had a great German pils from Leadfoot Brewing and Chikopi MA. Really tasted like something from Germany." What's MA? Is that Massachusetts?
Massachusetts, yeah. Chickpea. Chickpea, Massachusetts. You're watching Chicks Pea in Massachusetts. Is that what Paul's doing?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's a native.
He just needs Joe's dad to help him out.
Jeez.
And then I was chatting with Chad the other day, and asked him if there will ever be an albino rhino beer festival. He was unsure, and I wondered if it would still work since it's been so long. At least he was unsure about the Niagara region.
Yeah.
And then Beer for Days showed up and said, "What's next
week's beer?" We'll get to that in a moment.
And then Lucelius Roselius said, "I'm not sure. He has the infrastructure or drive ability to run another one. His life has changed dramatically in some ways in the last few years." He's still
got family in Welland. I'm not sure. I mean, theoretically, he could, if he moved back home from the Arctic or came home for a while, he could probably pull one off. I imagine he's still got his connections. What?
I'd say.
He has friends. I don't think he has any family in Niagara.
Oh, did his family actually move?
Or
Because I knew his.
He never had any. I don't think he ever had any family in
Well,
Niagara.
his in-laws. Like I'm talking to his in-laws. Like they were
his
like.
fam-
Like he was
No, I
taught.
think they're in close to Ottawa, aren't they?
Yeah. Like
Is
just
it-
outside Ottawa.
Did they move or something? Because they were living in Welland.
Well, they did. I know they sold the house, and
Yeah.
I think I remember hearing they were selling the house. I guess I don't know if it
I
actually
mean, there
happened.
was one thing where I heard that I thought they were moving like out east or something.
But
But-
no, his family is from Ottawa. So yeah, if he does one here, that's like right in the middle. You know, you guys from out east to here, and then you guys from Toronto-ish.
I would say there's probably still like the market to actually do one out there in like Ridgeway, but I don't think Chad's in a position to run one like Lee said.
Well, if I ever get that winery into my hands, I'll do one here.
There
You
you
guys
go.
can come down.
That'd be awesome.
I almost had a beer
I'd
fest.
love to visit Pennsylvania at some point. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, me too, actually. I wouldn't mind visiting PA. Where was I? Greg says, I think he wants to do another, but realistically, it probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Albino Rhino says, hi! Says here.
Lena
Remember
Reno.
when Maple Ruski ruined that bathroom?
Yes.
I don't know that one. I don't know that one, so tell me after I'm done here.
I was there.
There you go.
remember
Jamie C said his wife's family are all in Saskatchewan now. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were looking to move to whatever the cheapest place to live is or something. They sold their house in Welland, which is really expensive. Made all that money off of it. Buy a cheap house somewhere they could fix up.
I don't think Welland is that expensive, but okay.
Yeah, it is.
You
It's
wouldn't.
like an outskirts of Toronto. It's not expensive for you, but all the rest of us is fucking expensive.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
Okay.
remember when Paul, the average dad, forced Joe to sit outside the women's bathroom and cat call girls after they poop?
I remember that.
That was 2016. I remember that one. And then
Yeah.
Chad says,
I was
I'm having a dog festival this year.
Joe's
All
dad.
three.
Joe's dad and I were on
And
poop
then-
patrol for North.
Gee,
Greg
Poon.
says, are the dogs alive? Jesus.
I still remember
Question.
Maybe question mark.
I still remember Paul and Average Dad sitting outside the women's bathroom and saying like on that couch there at the bottom of the stairs, and they're like, "This is the best seats in the house." Watching the bitches go by.
That was the year before.
But you're this little guy. You get a whiff of what they did. It's nice. A little bit of
Oh,
focus going on.
Jesus Christ!
You never see Joe looking more awkward than when Paul and his dad were together.
We were buddies. We were best friends. And I remember, like, Joe was like, hey, this is actually his son. I'm not. This is his real son. Like, it was like, nice.
Separated at birth.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That was for the.
He was hanging out with him.
And
I remember the average dad. He was awesome.
He's
Yeah,
a great guy.
Joe's dad was friggin' awesome, man.
He's still alive. So.
Well, yeah. God, I hope so.
As far as we-
He's a former submariner, isn't he? Like Navy.
Yeah, he probably
remember-
qualifies to this day.
I think I remember seeing him with a Navy hat, and I think it was a submarine that he served on. I'd have to ask Joe that again. I could be wrong.
If Joe ever
There.
talks to us again, we'll ask him.
Oh, what the fuck?
Chat says Paul and me.
please
gets
move
kicked out of
things
my-
along.
All right, so there's Paul and Average Pop sitting outside the bathroom at that's 2015. All right, so let's stop sharing. We gotta go around again and say, Lady Lee, of all the beers you here tonight, which one would you have rather have had?
I'm gonna go with Mr. Lee Russell. He sounds very
Oh.
passionate about the Pilsner that he said,
Okay.
and I kind of am not as interested in like lagers or pilsners. But last week I had a really good, or a week, whatever, I had a pilsner or a lager that I really liked. So I have the belief that there is an amazing pilsner out there for me. So
Nice.
I am interested.
Amazing.
All right, let's go to Greg. Greg, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you have rather have had?
In the interest of just prolonging the show a little bit more for Carrie, because he looks like he really wants to spend some more time, I just want to make a point and bring this up to the audience that, again, Lady Lee continues every week to be better than Dan. And I don't see it changing this week. So now that
This one's a
got
closer
that out of
one.
the way- Well, in fact, though, I will not be voting for Lady Lee or Dan. I will be voting for Mr. Lee Russell for one reason, and that's because I would like to drink his beer and then inform him why it is inferior to a steam whistle. So that is why I vote for Lee Russell.
Hey,
I like that.
It's your right to be brain damaged.
I'm looking forward to Greg being proven wrong on Steam Whistle.
Indeed. Well, you know what? To be fair, I don't think there's that many good Pilsners out there, whether they're imported because they're usually too old at that point, or I don't think breweries make very good ones generally. I do think Steam Whistle is an excellent one. I don't know if it's traditional because I'm not a Pilsner expert, but I think it's an excellent beer for what it is anyway. It is way overpriced though for what it is right now. So I would love to try Lee Russell's beer, and I'd like to actually see how it compares to Steam Whistle, and if I do enjoy it or not.
All right.
Cheers, motherfuckers! But either way, Lady Lee is better than Dan.
All right. Thanks, Greg. Let's go over to Paul. Paul. Hey, Paul.
Oh, fuck off.
All right. Of all these beers, which would you have rather have had? And I'm gonna guess probably none of them.
Well, my biggest thing
Paul or
was
Salvatore.
I'm pulling a Pauliner right now. For
Paul.
Paul just crushed 3 beers.
Salivator.
I just had 3 beers before I started this too, so I earned another beer. Good for me.
Yay!
I would say Lee, Mr. Lee, sir, but I know that no Pilsner will ever go above an 8 out of 10 for me, so that is false. Not because they're not great, it's just they have a cap window for me. However, the person that spoke the most and got interrupted the most, almost, maybe, except for West Coast Nick, we don't talk about him because he's weird and Western. I would actually go with Nick.
Shut up, East Coast.
Really?
I mean,
Wow.
I'm most interrupted first, and I thought that was me.
Wow, Paul. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, I would like Nick's beer. I would like to supple your juices, good sir.
Jeez.
Yeah, you can cap that one.
Well, we'll have to arrange something. All right. Thank you, Paul. Let's move along to Sleepybeard here. It may already be too late.
Someone's had a little too much weed tonight.
So Carrie's voting for my beer before he passes out, I'm assuming.
Okay,
All right.
good night.
Have a good night there, Beardo. Okay.
This is why you should stay away from drugs, kids.
So
No,
he's alive.
No, I'm just like, the weed is not what made me sleepy.
Oh, no, that's
it's
totally
the getting
different.
up at 6 in the morning to go to work.
Insulting weed is like showing tits on screen. It'll wake Carrie up just like tits wake Nick up.
All right. Okay, so
Now he's back.
the fuzz is here. We're still doing our show.
Yeah, it's a long one tonight.
Yeah.
Soon. We're almost
Wow,
done.
it is a really long one. All right, we're almost done though. So thank you, Carrie. Let's move over to Lee. Lee, of all the beers you've heard here tonight, which one would you rather have?
I think the obvious.
all.
I think the obvious choice is Paul's. If you know, even though according to Paul, Pilsners have a cap, I still trust his taste on a great Pilsner. So I'm going to go with what he brought tonight.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lee. Let's go over to the Dan. Hey, Dan.
hi.
Of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
Sigh. Well, you know, I'm not a winner tonight, and unfortunately, the only way that Lady Lee wins in Greg's eyes is because he thinks he's going to get laid. But that being said, I'm going to actually have to go.
It doesn't have to be from her, but at some point I'll get laid. Somebody will have mercy on me.
Right
Come on.
before he casts his vote.
Maybe Dan is the most interrupted guy. Greg, what the fuck?
He was literally about to give his vote. You're like,
He addressed me directly.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Hold on, there was a
Dan.
whole conversation about a fucking bukkake while I was trying to fucking
Jesus
get my
Christ.
beer, and you say he's the most interrupted? Yourself.
No, I agree with Lady
Jesus
Lee. Like, I
Christ.
think Lady Lee is by far the most-
is.
Lady Lee is by far the most interrupted. And you guys perv on her, so you should be ashamed of yourselves.
All right, go Dan. Go Dan. Go Dan.
All right.
Dan.
Before we mute Greg, Dan, what was your chip pick?
Fuck you, Nick.
Can
Sorry,
I
Nick.
say
That
one
was
thing?
those for you,
Nobody
Nick.
talked over
Oh,
me.
wait, it was actually a vote for me?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So, Dan votes for me. Awesome. All right. Who's left? We got Radar. Radar, of all the beers you heard here tonight, which one would you rather have had?
I'm going with Paul's.
Paul.
Oh yeah, I'm only recently starting to like Pilsner, and like him. So it's like an acquired taste Pilsner, and like him, I don't think I will go like over a certain point. And I gave one not long ago. I think it was one of Gee's. That was like 8.1. And it was like fuck, it was good, but it was an import. So yeah, I would love to try a Brew News Paul's beer.
Nice. All right. Okay. Thank you, Radar. And let's go over to me. Who am I voting for tonight? I have to admit, of all the beers that I heard here tonight, the one that sounded most interesting to me was Dan. I'm kind of curious about that dark matter.
You just feel bad for him, do you?
No, I actually sounded interested. Yeah. What are you talking about? You voted for Elise.
No, I said Dan. I didn't get a vote. No one voted for me.
So Greg,
Someone
take
voted
that
for
sign
Dan.
down
So
now.
Oh.
I came less place
no.
than Dan. Dan came above me.
No,
So he
she's
beat
well.
me.
Just because
Better than
Dan's
Dan.
coming above you does not mean you're worse than him.
All right.
In fact, you're better than him.
So yeah, I vote for Dan, but it doesn't make much of a difference because the obvious winner is me tonight because I win with 3 votes. Paul's, Carrie's, and Carrie before he fell asleep, and Dan's. So I guess we're one thing here. We have the Fuzz here,
Jesus Christ.
who wasn't part of the original episode and has no idea what's going on.
Maybe I should have done this $4 can of frequency APA from
All right, Radar, you want to read the rest of the comments while I take a fucking horse piss? Because
I almost won. I got close. It was pretty good.
all right.
Oh, yeah, it's, guys, don't fall in a bonfire.
Yeah, that looks painful.
Chad says Paul immediately gets kicked out of my dog festival. Lee immediately gets kicked out. Lady Lee immediately gets kicked out of my seafood festival. Oh no, wait a minute. Paul immediately gets kicked out of my dog festival. Lee immediately gets kicked out of my redhead festival.
Yeah.
Lady Lee immediately gets kicked out of my seafood festival.
Yeah.
Redbeard immediately gets kicked out of my Hood Fan Festival. Greg
Oh, yeah.
immediately gets kicked out of my abstinence.
Indeed, yes.
Nick immediately gets kicked out of my Greg Festival. I guess that means I am invited to every one of Chad's festivals. Fuck you.
Well, you know.
So Jamie says this rating is like Eurovision Song Contest.
No. Listen, I would intervene and I would let Nick stay at my festival. I would like Nick. He's like this nice bear at the festival that all the Gregs can hug. He'll be so nice.
See an abstinence festival. See how hot the chicks are there.
They're all hot but very crazy.
I'm sorry, Scott. This is
know,
more of
I
a
know.
shit show than usual. You kind of stumbled into.
By the way, it's left.
But to be fair, I mean, you're interrupting a lot less than the guy who was in your spot before you.
Redbeard didn't stop anybody tonight.
Are you fucking kidding me? Were you not paying attention?
Yes.
I just joined because I see people online. I'm like, you know what? I should say hi. You know, just be friendly. And it's a shit show. It's just a shit.
Hi, Scott. I wish I lived
You
5
expect
minutes from
nothing
you.
less here.
If I lived 5 minutes from you, I would come visit you all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, good hashtag. Good friend, Greg.
By the way, I think we should give a good shout out tonight to a very loyal Canadian out there. Very awesome. Born in Edmonton, Alberta, 85 years ago. So Tommy Chung, happy birthday.
Oh,
There
really?
we go.
Happy birthday.
And rest in peace to Tina Turner.
Yes.
Even better.
1939 or something like that to 2024
That's pretty.
or 23. So
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah.
Whew.
I thought you
Radar.
were
You said a good
What
run.
what event did I get kicked out of?
Oh, that's just
Dog
Lino
Festival.
Reno.
I'm just
Lino
reading
Reno
What?
Asian
Oh, the
League.
dog festival.
What,
Paul immediately
Chad-
is good.
Log?
Dog.
Chad wrote on the chats there. He said,
I got kicked out of the Steve's
Paul
Food
immediately
Festival.
gets kicked out of my dog.
Yeah,
festival."
you would.
Does,
All right.
Does Radar?
I would fuck them.
Does Radar? No, that's actually not Chad. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not actually Chad. It's actually Mr. Jamie Z. All right, so
Lino Reno.
El
Jesus, guys.
Blinnerino. All right, so anyway, the question has been asked. What's
Hey,
next
hey,
week's
brother.
beer? And for this, I'm actually going to turn it over to Greg. Greg, what's next week's beer?
Greg.
you, Joe.
Bone Shaker.
We
No
are
way.
going to do a reanalysis on Bone Shaker from Amsterdam Brewing.
Yeah, look at this.
Because I know Greg's got no shortage of them in his house right now.
I actually had to join
I
this
do.
the first time I've seen everybody. That's
Dan
funny.
has
And
one.
Dan's got a Bone Shaker. He's got a bone to pick with everybody.
Oh,
Good, 'cause
yes.
that means I'm gonna have to drive to my LCBO because I hate driving to that LCBO.
No, I hate that product, so I'm not going to take part.
Well,
All right.
listen, why don't we give you directions to this other LCBO that's a lot more difficult to get to? And, you can make multiple trips around the block and fight off a few homeless people. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Jesus.
With the
But at my
go with their
downtown
code,
one, it's definitely a challenge to get the beer. I'm not gonna lie. I
So
hate driving to that LCBO.
I'm not sure if this is the longest BA 101 ever, but we topped it at 1 hour and 36 minutes so far. I want to thank everybody. Yeah, it was worth it. I want to thank everybody who did stay tuned in this long. Paul, so nice to fucking have you tonight. Dan, you too, man. And Radar, like having you on Radar. And of course, everybody else. I don't want to single anybody else, but like Lee, Lady Lee, and Greg, and all the viewers as well. Jamie Z, Jamie C, Beers for Days. And also Sam Smalley. I know you can't see this right now, but it's great having you with us. Anyway, we're gonna take it off for tonight. So thanks everybody, and we will chat with you later.
Hey, news.